Hello everyone, I, Professor Chintan Shah, welcome you all to today's lecture on file organization and access. In the previous lecture on file management, we have discussed what do we mean by file, what is file system, the various terms used when discussing the file, what are the objectives of file management system, and we have also discussed the architecture of file system. We started our conversation on understanding what is a file organization, and then we have also proceeded towards listing down the various types of file organization. When we have listed, we have came across that there are five types of file organization. They are the pile, the sequential file, the index sequential file, the indexed file, and the direct or the hashed file. So now today we are going to understand each one of them in detail. Now let us start with the first file type, that is the pile. Pile is the least complicated form of file organization. Here the data are collected in the order in which they arrive. Each record consists of one burst of data. The purpose of the file is simply to accumulate the mass of the data and then to save it. Records may have different fields or it may have similar fields in different order. Thus, each field should be self-describing, including a field name as well as the value. Because there is no structure to the pile file, the record access is done by an exhaustive search, which means if we wish to find a record that contains a particular field with a particular value, it is necessary to examine each record in the pile until the desired record is found or the entire file has been searched. If we wish to find all records that contain a particular field or which may contain that field with a particular value, then the entire pile must be searched. Now, pile file beyond the limited use, this type of file is unsuitable for most of the applications. Since you have understood the pile, let us understand the next type, that is the sequential file. Now let us take our focus to a sequential file. Sequential file is the most common form of file structure. In this type of file, a fixed format is used for records. All records are of same length, consisting of the same number of fixed length field in a particular order. Because the length and position of each field here are known, only the values of field needs to be stored. The field name and the length of each field are the attributes of the file structure. One such particular field, usually the first field in each record, is called as a key field. A key field uniquely identifies the record and it determines the storage order. Thus, key values for different records are always different. Further, the records here are stored in key sequence, that is, alphabetical order for a text key and a numeric order for a numeric key. Sequential files are typically used in batch applications and are generally optimum for such applications in which it involves batch processing. Example, a billing or a payroll applications. A sequential file organization is the only one that is easily stored on tape as well as disk. Now since we have understood a sequential file, let us proceed towards the next approach, which is an indexed sequential file. Now here, a popular approach to overcome the disadvantages that we had faced in the sequential file is the index sequential file. The index sequential file maintains the key characteristics of the sequential file. Here, the records are organized in sequence based on a key field. Two features are added here: an index to a file to support the random access and an overflow file. The index file provides a lookup capability to reach quickly to the desired record, while the overflow file is similar to the log file used with the sequential file, but it is integrated so that the record in the overflow file is located by following a pointer from its predecessor record. Each record in the index file consists of two fields: a key field, which is same as the key field in the main file, and a pointer which will point to the main file. To find a specific field, the index is searched to find the highest key value that is equal to or precedes the desired key value. The search here continues till the location which is indicated by the pointer. The index sequential file greatly reduces the time required to access a single record without sacrificing the sequential nature about the file. To process the entire file sequentially, the records of the main file are processed in sequence until a pointer to the overflow file is found. Then accessing continues in the overflow file until a pointer is encountered, at which time accessing of the main file is resumed from where it has left off. To provide even greater efficiency in access, multiple level of indexing can be used. Okay, now let us see the next type, which is an indexed file. Let us start with the another type of file organization, which is index file. In the previous slide, we have seen that index sequential file retains one limitation, where the effective processing is limited to that which is based on a single field of the file. For example, when it is necessary to search for a record on the basis of some attribute, both forms of sequential file are inadequate. In some applications, the flexibility of efficiency searching by various attributes is desirable. To achieve this flexibility, a structure is needed that employs multiple indexes, one for each type of field that may be the subject of a search. In a general index file, the concept of sequentially and a single key are abundant. Records are only accessed through their indexes. There are two types of indexing are used. First one, an excessive index consists of only one entry for every record in the main file. The index itself is organized as a sequential file for ease of searching. A partial index contains entries to records where the field of interest exists. With variable length records, some record will not contain all fields. When a new record is added to the main file, all of the index file must be updated. Index file is mostly used in applications where timeliness of information is critical and where the data are rarely processed exhaustively. For example, it is used in an airline reservation system and inventory control system. So now, since you have understood the index file, let us proceed towards the last type of file organization, which is the direct or the hashed file. Now the directed hashed file exploits the capability found on disk to access directly any block of a known address. As with sequential and index sequential file, a key field was required in every record. However, there is no concept of sequential ordering here. The direct offer makes use of hashing on the key value. Direct files are used often when we require very high rapid access is required, where fixed length records are used, and where records are always accessed one at a time. Example of such can be the directories, pricing, tables, schedules and name list. So to summarize, we have seen the file organization in which we have seen pile file, sequential file, index sequential file and the index file. So this was the lecture for today. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you so much. Since we have understood 5 of the common file organizations, let us proceed towards what is called as a directory. Now directory is nothing but a collection of files. The directory contains information about the files, which may include attributes, location and ownership. Much of this information, especially that concerned with storage, is managed by the operating system. The directory is itself a file accessible by various file management routines. Although some of the information in directory is available to users and the applications, it is generally provided indirectly to the user. As you can see in this figure, the table number 12.2 suggests that information is typically stored in the directory for each file in the system. From the user's point of view, the directory provides a mapping between the file name known to a user and the application and the file themselves. Thus, each entry includes the name of the file. Virtually, all system deals with different types of file and different file organizations, and this information is also provided. In any shared system, it is very important to provide the information that is used to control the access to the file. Typically, one user is the owner of the file and may grant certain access privileges to the other users. Finally, such usage information is actually required to manage the current use of the file and also to store or to record the history of the usage. As you can see in the table or the diagram, it contains various information such as file name, file type and file organization. File name is a name which is chosen by the creator, which should be very unique. It consists of a file type. So when we say a file type, it can be in the form of text, binary, etc. File organization. File organization is for the system that supports the different organization. Apart from this, it also contains the address information, in which it contains the volume, starting address, that is the starting physical address on the secondary storage, the size of the file, that it can be in the form of bytes, words or blocks, and it also contains information about the size allocated, that is the maximum size of the file. Directory also contains information such as access control. It means who is the owner, what is the access information, that is the information regarding username and password, and also about the permitted actions, which includes the rights, that is reading, writing, executing, transmitting over a network. Directory also gives an information of the usage such as the date it was created, that means the date when the file was placed, identity of the creator, data, the last read access, it means the date at which the last time record was read, identity of the last reader, date the last modified, identity of the last modifier, it means who did the modifying at the last, date of the last backup, and the current usage. It means information about the current activity. It means it will be a file open or locked or any other information. So these are all the information elements that we see about a file directory. Let us proceed towards the next slide, where we are going to see what are the operations we can perform on a directory. Now, to understand the requirements of a file structure, it is necessary to consider what can be operations that can be performed on a directory. When a directory is concerned, you may perform operations such as search, create file, delete file, list directory, and the update directory. Searching. So whenever a user searches for a file, the directory must be searched to find the corresponding entry of the file. For the create file, in create file, when a new file is created, an entry must be added to the directory. When we speak about delete file, so whenever a file is deleted, its entry needs to be removed from the directory. When we say a list directory operation, we mean all or a portion of the directory may be requested. Generally, this request is being made by a user and results in the listing of all the files owned by that user plus some of the information or the attributes of each file. Example, the type, the access control, and so on. And the next operation is the update directory. Now, because some file attributes are stored in the directory, a change in one of these attributes requires a change in the corresponding directory entry. Now, since we have seen what are the different operations that can be performed on a directory, let us consider a need of a single user. The user may have many types of file. The file can be of word processing, or it can be of Excel, it can be of spreadsheets, graphic files, and so on. The user may want to have this organized by the name or by the type or in some any other convenient way. If the directory is a simple sequential list, it provides no help in organizing the file and will force the user to be careful not to use the same name for two different types of file. So the problem is much worse in a shared system. Unique naming becomes a very difficult or serious problem. Also, it is difficult to conceal the portion of the overall directory from the users where there is no inherent structure in the directory. To start or to find out a problem and to find its solutions, let us go to a two-level scheme. Now, in this two-level scheme, in this case, there is only a one directory for each user and a master directory. The master directory has the information for each user directory, providing address and access control information. Now, each user directory is just a simple list of files of that user. This arrangement means that name must be unique only within the collection of file of a single user, and that the file system can easily enforce access restrictions on directories. However, it still provides users with no help in structuring or collection of files. A more powerful and the flexible approach to this, which is universally adopted, is the hierarchical or tree structure approach that we are going to see. Now in this, as before, there is a master directory which has under it a number of user directories. Now each of these user directory in turn may have subdirectories and the file as an entries. That is, at any level, a directory may consist of entry for subdirectory or the entries for the files. It remains to say how each directory and subdirectory is organized. The simpler approach, of course, is to store each directory as a sequential file. When directories may contain a very large number of entries, such as organization may then lead to unnecessary long search time. In that case, a hashed structure is to be preferred. Now, in this, the user needs to be able to refer to a file by a symbolic name. Clearly, each file in the system must have a unique name in order that file references be unambiguous. On the other hand, it is unacceptable burden on user to require that they provide unique name, especially in a shared system. The use of a tree structured directory minimize the difficulty in assigning the unique names. Any file in the system can be located by following a path from the root, or we can say a master directory, down to the various branches till the file is reached. The series of the directory names in the file name itself constitutes a path name for the file. For example, the file in the lower left hand corner has a path name userb slash word slash unit a slash abc. The slash here is used to delimit the names in the sequence. The name of the master directory is implicit because all paths start at that directory. Note that it is perfectly acceptable to have several files with the same file name as long as they have unique path name, which is equivalent to saying that the same file name may be used but in different directories. In our example, there is another file in the system with the name abc, but that has the path name slash userb slash draw slash abc. Although the path name facilitates the selection of the file name, it would be awkward for a user to have to spell out the entire path name every time a reference is made. So files are then referred relative to the working directory. For example, if my working directory for the user B is word, then the path name unit underscore a slash abc is sufficient to identify the file in the lower left hand corner as shown in the figure. Now, whenever an interactive user logs in or whenever a new process is created, the default for the working directory is the user's home directory. During the execution, the user can navigate up or down in the tree to change to a different working directory. Okay students, so thank you everyone for listening to today's lecture. I hope you have enjoyed. Just as a revision about what we did today. So here we have seen the five common types of organizations which we have seen in detail, in which we have understood about the file, about sequential file, index sequential file, indexed file, and also we have seen about and understood about the direct, or you can say the hashed file. After that, we also have understood what is a directory, which is nothing but the collection of files. Then we have seen what can be the operations that we can perform it on a directory. Then we have also seen what is the problem a user may have, and then how two-level scheme overcomes the problem, in which it overcomes the problem with the help of two-level scheme, in which there is a one directory for every user and a master directory, where the master directory has an entry for each user directory, while each user directory has a list of the files of that user. Then we have seen the tree structure directory, in which we have seen how tree structure directory minimizes the difficulty in assigning the unique names. So that is what we have seen today. In the next lecture, we are going to understand about the file sharing, and whenever we speak about the file sharing, what kind of different issue that can arise on a file sharing, that is the access rights and the management of the simultaneous access. And then we'll take it towards the various file allocation techniques, in which we are going to see three different types of file allocation techniques in detail, that is contiguous file allocation technique, then chained allocation, and then the indexed allocation. So I hope you enjoyed today's lecture. We are again going to meet tomorrow to understand the C. Thanking you everyone. Thanks a lot.